I'm Jay Horton. I make movies that make money. This is how. If you want to learn how to make more money with your indie movies, subscribe now. Today I'm going to tell you how to do your initial market research for your independent film. One of the very best marketplace search tools for you to get started is Amazon. You just go to Amazon's bestsellers list, and if you don't know how to find it, simply type Amazon bestseller list into the Google machine. Movies and TV is the category you want. Then pick the subcategory that best fits your intended release. Is it DVD, Prime Video, rental? Then you pick the genre and Amazon will pull up the top 100 films. It's important to keep in mind that most of these are going to be big studio releases that you can't really compete with. But it'll give you a basic idea of what's doing well in the market. And you can use these to set goals as far as poster quality and metadata and description, because those are things that you can match the big guys with, or at least get pretty close. I usually ignore the top 50 and concentrate on the bottom half of that list. You're more likely to find indie level movies there, but not always. So what are you looking for? Well, click on a few of those titles, especially ones that you may not have heard of or have no major stars. Look at their artwork. Look at the quality. Look at the layout. How do they do their font? What color is it? How does it pop out on the page? Look at the descriptions. What subgenres did they pick? Maybe actually watch a couple of the movies. What is it about them that's keeping people watching? Take a look at the user reviews. How many are there? What are people saying? Do they look like legit reviews? Are they friends and family? How many of them are there? You can start to use all this as a baseline for the work that you're creating. Then click over to IMDb and check out the stats there. User reviews. Did they upload a trailer? What's the poster look like? Did they include other images or videos? Make sure you're filling out your IMDb as fully as they are. This is something that doesn't cost a dime, just a little bit of your time. Also, start looking up the filmmakers on some of these films. Check them out on Twitter or Instagram, Facebook if you can find them. Do they have a YouTube presence? How are they using YouTube? How are they promoting their work? Does the movie have an individual website? Or do they have a company page they promote from? Does the movie have its own social media identity? Most of this is free to do, and it's stuff that you can match the big guys with. And I'm not suggesting copying every single thing that they do, but take what works for you and your film and use that. I don't really do this one anymore, but back in the day, I'd reach out to many of these filmmakers. Some might actually share information with you if you ask. I wouldn't ask them how much they made or anything like that, but they might tell you a bit about their distributor or give some tips on how they market. Or they might not respond at all. Just be really careful reaching out to people. I'd usually ask in a comment or a post about DMing them before just sliding into the DMs. Basically, get consent. You'll find a lot of filmmakers love to talk about themselves. You might be surprised at how open some are. And then take the same tack with distributors. You can find email contacts and phone numbers for most of them on IMDb Pro. And this is something I still do. If you're careful not to hit them up when they're prepping for a big market like Cannes or AFM, they're likely to chat a bit. Some will, some won't, but you might be surprised at how candid some of them are if you catch them at the right time in the right manner. Also, keep an eye on filmmaking groups. Find other filmmakers that are working at slightly higher levels than you and pick their brains. I get a lot of useful information from these. Alex Ferrari hosts a couple of Facebook groups that are pretty great. Indie Film Hustle and Protect Yourself from Predatory Distributors. And of course, there's my own Facebook group, Filmmakers On. And don't dismiss advice from novices out of hand either, from the mouth of babes and all. Back to marketing. Start infiltrating your target audience. Like an undercover cop, 21 Jump Street that shit. Join Facebook groups and subreddits where your audience congregates. And don't spam. Don't talk about yourself. Listen. Read the comments and the posts carefully. What do they care about? What do they respond to? What kind of posts have hundreds of likes and comments? What kind of posts have no interaction? Make notes. and interact yourself. Add to the group. If you do this early enough, it can even help you in shaping your material. What do these people want to see? And how does that fit into the stuff that you want to make? The more you learn about your audience, the better you can reach them and deliver something that is going to resonate with them. This can be very time consuming, but it can also be super valuable, especially if it's a new or unfamiliar genre or topic for you. Now, this next bit is probably something you won't have access to right away, but over time you can grow it. As you meet and befriend other filmmakers, stay in touch, be transparent, share data with each other, build up a network. Over the past decade, I've networked with dozens of other filmmakers, and we all share details of our contracts, our earnings, our successes, our failures. I'm actually prepping a video to go over some averages of this data in the coming weeks. But the main takeaway here is to stay open. The old never talk about money or finances is old thinking. It's boomer shit. And it's the kind of secretive behavior that allows for things like gender and racial disparity and has allowed predatory distributors to operate almost completely unchecked for decades. If we're all more open about what we're earning from them, distributors won't be able to pull fast ones with newbie filmmakers that don't know any better. At least, not so easily. Demand a certain openness in the people you work with and give the same, within reason. And of course, sometimes there's going to be details of your work that's protected by contracts, NDAs, or proprietary information that you can't share. But if there's no legal or moral reason not to discuss specifics, you absolutely should. And this is something that's really been changing in the last few years. In general, if filmmakers were as open 10 years ago as they are now, most of these predatory distributors would not be in business. There's still a ways to go, but I believe their days are numbered. If you want to learn how to make more money with your indie film, subscribe now. And if you want to get a personal marketing consultation on your next indie film, check out my Patreon. Whatever you do, keep making movies.